concern my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you concern my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, triggers. Get your life, cause I'm the type that come through with that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you concern my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you concern my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you concern my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you concern my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing on this pleasant Saturday evening here? 78 degrees here in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm your nighttime, right time DJ, and welcome to another episode of the Chop Shop. Y'all saw what we're going to talk about. If you didn't see, I'll put it back on the screen in a little bit. The title of the track is Ballistics Don't Lie. What's going on there? I got a 1 or 2 already. Thank you there very much there. Good. What's going on with you, Shar? How you doing? What's up, Zahara? How you doing? I see some folks up in the clouds. How y'all doing? Drop on in. Say hello. No, I'm not going to bite you. Believe me, I'm not going to bite you. You know, ladies and gentlemen, a lot has gone on in the last couple of weeks. And see, no matter where you go to, excuse me, no matter where you turn to, whether it's social media or, mainstream media or whatever, everybody's talking about Charlie Kirk and his unfortunate way he met his untimely demise, as some would say. Whether you're for or against Charlie Kirk, it's not that the man has passed on. It's now some people are talking about the reasons why he passed on. In particular, they're talking about the method to where he was taken out. Okay? Saying that a 22-year-old kid could not, it was almost impossible. Let's just, if you're into conspiracy theorists, folks, this is a good one to jump on. All right. They said that a 22-year-old kid could not make that shot. They said that you had to be a trained sniper to make that shot. Well, As someone that's been around guns my entire life, although it's difficult, the shot itself is not impossible. I've seen folks younger than 22 years old, especially growing up in the South, folks. Deer hunting is a big thing around here. And I've seen kids 9, 10 years old take out a deer from 100 yards, 200 yards, depends on where the tree stand is. So it's not impossible. But there are some other things that led up to, what's up there, Black Hawk? Some things that I find some inconsistencies with that I ran into a few things. I would always go around and check to find things that kind of solidifies what I'd like to point out. And in this particular case, I found a channel named The Truth Desk. So The Truth Desk is a young white kid, and he's talking about the Charlie Kirk and the Ballistics. And for those of you that have been in the military, and for those of you that have watched shows like Forged in Fire and different things like that, or you like to see things get blown up like I do, you know that a ballistic dummy is the closest thing to recreating the human flesh and human bones. Now, again, going back to this hunting thing, a lot of us down in the South, we hunt what they call 30-06s, because we know that gun, that particular, yes, a lot of inconsistencies, Sean. And that's one of the things that we're going to cover here first. As a matter of fact, we were going to talk about the shooting first, but someone sent me a hot clip that I didn't download the visual of it, but we'll take a listen to it, just as you were just saying that, y'all. I was going to bring it up in just a little bit. But if you know anything about a 30-06, it is designed to stop, even though some deer will still run. And what we're going to show is one example of what happens to a deer after it's been shot by a high-powered rifle. The ballistics is actually going to show you a deer. So for those of you that are queasy, or those of you that have small children around, this is not the video for you. Throughout the video, I have marked right before you get to the even some of the ballistic tests, you'll see there will be a marker that's telling you it's going to depict some violence. So that'll be your cue to step away if you don't want to see it. Okay. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I want to do is again, I got a little hot topic here. So let me go run that right quick. Like, should I do that first? I tell you what, let's do the video first, and then we'll go back and listen to the MP3. All right. So let me get this off the screen. Hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday. A lot of stuff's been going on in them YouTube streets, boy. I tell you, yeah, a lot of stuff. Whole lot of stuff been going on in them YouTube streets lately. Umar been running amok still. Indeed. But you know, here's some real stuff for you there, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's get to this video. Again, you will see this warning signal on some of the more graphic stuff. I have marked it. So if you want to turn your head for a minute, especially if you don't like seeing animals getting shot, or you don't like seeing exit wounds, there'll be a sign to tell you, hey, turn your head. Okay. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it.
Of a 30-06 and what it does to various objects, including some ballistic dummy tests. Now, none of these are a 100% perfect representation of what happened to Charlie. If this video gets over 10,000 views, I will actually go out. I know several people that have a 30-06, and I will actually go out and buy a ballistics dummy. And I'll replicate the test 100%, same distance, same elevations and everything. Ballistic dummies are very expensive, just for a head and a torso, they're like $300. So, but if this video gets 10,000 views, I will go ahead and recreate this test, and we'll see exactly what happens. So please like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you want to see that. First, we're going to look at the difference between a 30-06 and a 5.56 round. A .06 is a full-powered rifle cartridge, and a 5.56 is a intermediate cartridge. So an .06, this is going to show you just how much power an .06 round packs versus an intermediate like a 5.56 round. This is an .06 here.
Okay, there, ladies and gentlemen, keep it in mind now. Again, I've been around guns, whether it be a shotgun, whether it be a handgun, whether it be a military style gun. I've been around guns my entire life. So if you go back to the one video that I talked about Charlie Kirk, one of the things that I noticed, how his body convulsed when it moved differently from the t-shirt. That's what they call that inertia stuff. So for me, as someone who's used to seeing things getting, ballistic things getting lit up from some of the shows that I've watched, and some of these videos that I've watched, like Forged and Fire. I'm a big fan of Forged and Fire. So the ballistic test that they do, that's a direct representation of what would happen to the human body. Even back in the day, the crash dummies, those were the early ballistics dummies. That's what they do. Instead of a big a block of gel, they decide to turn it into a human form, whether it be a head or a torso, okay, or a full body. So with that, let's go.
Yeah. So you can see just what that does. Shows the devastation of the round a little bit more. Now here's a 30-06 versus a deer. I will just warn you, this is going to be graphic. It's going to show the deer's blood and stuff at the end, but it'll showcase to you pretty well the stopping power of an .06, and it'll also show you the difference between an entry and an exit wound. There's a lot of people that have been claiming that they know the difference, claiming like they've been hunting before. So let's just check out what shooting a 30-06 at a deer does.
Dude, you got her.
Okay, folks. If I had to guess from the sound of the gun and from the distance that I'm looking, that's at least. It's hard to gauge, but as you can tell, he's not 50 yards away from the deer when he shoots him. With a high-powered rifle, that deer would have dropped immediately if he was 50 yards. So I'm guessing he's at least 100 to 120 yards, which if you're down from the south, and if you're in a tree stand, you put a corn pile down somewhere, that's usually about the distance, anywhere from 100 yards to 120 yards is where you put the corn pile, so that you don't shoot female deers. I don't anyway. But where the bucks will come to and they'll gather, and you'll have a clear, as they call it in the Marine Corps, sight alignment, sight picture. A good 100 yards, 120 yards. Okay? Now watch what happens to this deer. Again, the entry wound is small, but the exit wound, watch for yourself. Again, this is going to be not something that's if you're weak stomach that you want to see.
Just look at how it snaps back like that. An .06 has a crazy amount of energy that gets transferred almost immediately to the target. An .06 travels at about 2,800 feet per second, so it has a lot of stopping power. Now this is going to be graphic here, the difference between the entrance and the exit wound, so if you don't want to see that, be sure to skip ahead.
So right here's where I got her.
So that's the entrance wound right there.
As much as I don't like to, right. As much as I don't want to stop it there, folks, I have to make a point. That is the entrance wound. But there's going to be a big difference in the entrance wound and the exit wound. Now, again, there's such a thing called inertia, and this is a very high-powered rifle with a round that is designed to explode once it makes contact. So, for all intents and purposes, this may sound gory, but for all intents and purposes, Charlie Kirk should not have he was dead before he hit the ground. Once that bullet struck him, with the inertia and the power of that bullet, because even the FBI, even with their consistencies, one thing they are consistent with, that he was shot, as they say, with a bullet that didn't leave. But that's another thing. We'll get to that later. How would you know if you didn't do an autopsy? Y'all remember I said that now. Remember that. But again, I'm an avid deer hunter. I've been hunting my whole life. And any Marine can tell you that there's no way that bullet stayed in Charlie Kirk's neck. Absolutely not. Unless if it was a full metal jacket, it's designed to leave out of the body. If it's a bullet that is designed to explode once it hits, it's designed for maximum damage. Understand what I'm saying? And these ballistic tests, like I say, folks, they don't lie. So imagine, as much as I hate to be gory about it, imagine this is Charlie Kirk right here.
There's a lot of blood, but it's just a small little hole right there, and it's bled out a little bit, but now we'll see the exit wound on the other side.
The exit's way more impressive.
I mean, now look, you could maybe say that the bullet that hit Charlie, you know, they say it went down and hit his bone and bounced down. Yes, that can happen. You can have ricochets and stuff, but that is right there. That's what a typical exit wound looks like with a .6 high grain expanding round.
No kidding. Now that was the federal blue box, right?
Absolutely.
150 grain, 30-06.
Yep, doesn't get better than that. That's all you need.
Doesn't get any better than that. This video is interesting. This is posted by a former military member, and he has a
And you're absolutely right, Shar. I mean, even the laymen, and no disrespect when I say that, but even the laymen would know that bullet is designed to do that is maximum damage. You don't have to be how do you say a rocket science to know that. Right. If somebody, the dumb bullets, what you're referring to, is what the police might hit you with, as they call them, riot control bullets, dumb bullets, or they call them frag bullets. They're tracer rounds. If you get hit by a tracer round sometime, chances are you're going to get hit by a hard metal, a hard piece of plastic. But the tracer round is, for one thing, is to mark where you're at. So you better move, because the next one is not going to be a tracer. It's to let the folks know where you're at. Hey there, Spirit. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Spirit of Rebellion. Great to see you. But again, folks, I've been around guns my entire life. And when I saw Charlie Kirk's body kind of quiver and shake, something told me that, first of all, he was already gone. And second of all, somebody had to be one hell of a shot. And third of all, he had to be hit with a bullet to not leave that was designed to fragment once it hit his body. Why? Because there was no one dead in front of him. Hey, Miss Jaylyn, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. There was no one in front of him. There was no one that passed away on the other side of Charlie Kirk. That's why there was no bullets that ran through his body. If this was a full metal jacket, 30-06 bullet, somebody else would have got it. That's what it's designed for. To penetrate and leave. Let's continue.
Representation of a clavicle bone here, which would be the bone right back here that they say the bullet went and ricocheted down when the bullet hit Charlie. This isn't a clavicle bone. I believe this is actually an alligator bone. He talks about it earlier in the video. And this isn't a perfect test here. He's got a little plastic dummy, but We'll just see what a 30-06 does to a clavicle bone here.
Okay, just imagine that, folks. Just imagine. That's a 30-06 shot. Again, these tests is not designed to be dead on, but it's just to give you an idea of what happened to, unfortunately, what happened to Charlie Kirk. Now you can understand why people are saying, what you mean the bullet stayed in him? Y'all saw what just happened to it, that was so-called alligator bone. Have y'all watched Swan People? The only place that you can shoot an alligator to hurt him is where? At the top of the head, in that quarter space, because that's the only place they're vulnerable at. Other than that, they'd be shooting them in the back. They wouldn't be shoot them. They wouldn't be wrestling them. Just pull them up and shoot them in the back. Let's go.
So again, not a perfect test, but that does just again show you some of the devastation of a 30-06 round. Next up here, this is one of my favorites. This is a very high dollar ballistics dummy that they are shooting with a 30-06 here. I believe the round is some sort of armor piercing round, because this channel here was doing a armor test, a body armor test, and after they did the test, they just decided to plink on this dummy that they had. So here we're going to see just what a 30-06 does to a ballistics dummy, which I will say as well, a ballistics dummy is like a skeleton and internal organs that they fill up with ballistics gel. So it's designed to, when you shoot a ballistics dummy, it's designed to simulate very accurately what happens when you shoot a human with a bullet here. So let's check out what this does to this ballistics dummy here.
Yeah, and understand this one thing, folks. They just didn't start using this. This was not the first time that ballistics dummies been tested on things. This has been tried and true by the military. This has been tried and true by all the ballistics experts, police departments all over the globe. All over the globe. Let me see what you say there. You're listening to the Staying Alive. Yeah, you can catch just about everything over there, Spirit. Hey, ABT, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Have a seat, have a seat. Grab you some popcorn and chill and chill and chill. We're talking about we're not exactly talking about Charlie Kirk there. We're just talking about the effects of what they're talking about when it comes to being shot with a 30-06. Okay. Again, this is a this is a ballistics dummy. It is designed to closely represent and replicate what a round would do at a certain distance to a human torso or to a human head. Now, again, if you have weak stomachs, don't say you weren't warned, because they're going to show it. It's going to be graphic. So it's not human, but it is ballistics gel. So you can use your imagination. What happened on that fateful day? Not only that, folks, and this is another thing I want y'all to think about. What happened when these children get shot by these high-powered rifles at less than 50 feet? I want y'all to think about that when y'all watch this too. But this man, and I'll speak on Charlie Kirk on this one, but this man advocated so much so for gun rights. This man said that people need to leave this earth in defense of the Second Amendment. Let's go.
See, that blew the 2x4 in half. That was the coolest part. That 2x4 is very easy.
Now, I want y'all to see all the different things that they're going to point out. First of all, look at what it does to the 2x4. And it's behind the body. This chest cavity is about the average size, the average man. cleared that chest cavity, broke that 2x4 with no problem, and continued to travel on. Watch again.
That's almost the entire bullet there. Oh wait, is that the steel core? Steel core and that's copper?
Oh, I bet it is. Look at that. So the bullet went all the way through and actually went through the 2x4 behind the dummy as well. So again, I just will point out this is a armor piercing round here, so it's designed to punch through. It's not necessarily an expanding round like would have been used, but it does just show you the inertia of a 30-06 bullet.
Yeah, good eye. That is wild.
See this here? This is the energy.
Now, look at the amount of energy, folks. And also, for those of you who can see, those of you who are watching right now, look at the little white specks. You know what those white specks are? Bone. Bone. Look at the amount of debris that's coming not only from the body, but the 2x4 as well. Charlie Kirk should have been lifted out of that chair, but we saw him holding the microphone. Am I wrong?
Transfer that we're talking, it's all that energy, and this isn't even 100% energy transfer because the bullet still comes out. So not all of the energy from the bullet was transferred to this dummy here.
It's still barely slowed down, I feel like. It's crazy how much it diverted that steel core up. Yeah. That moon cavity.
Now, okay, folks, I want y'all to pay attention to the back, not the 2x4, but now look at the dummy. I pointed this out in my first video that I spoke about Charlie Kirk. Remember, I said that the way his body moved was different from the T-shirt. Now you know why. Look how his body would have turned to gel. The T-shirt wasn't affected by the bullet more so than his body was. He did not have on any body armor at all. Why? Because there's pictures of him showing that you can almost see the hair on his chest. So he didn't have on body armor at all. So imagine that wobbly stuff that you see is Charlie Kirk's back. That's what was happening to him. But now move it up to his neck. As they say, he got shot at. Y'all still think he wasn't decapitated?
I'm coming out of the back. Look at that exit wound right there. To all the people that say, oh, you can't always tell the difference between an entrance and an exit. Okay, like that's an exit wound right there. All right, that we see. Look, it's just look at how big that is. I mean, that's, I don't know, 5 inches.
Demonstrates again just how much bigger exit wounds are than entrance wounds.
Here we're going to have one of the most telling demonstrations here. This guy is just shooting a ballistics dummy in the head. Once again, you can see they're designed, they're like a skeleton with ballistics gel around them. So it's designed to simulate very well the effect of shooting a bullet onto a human.
Okay, again, folks, if you don't want to see, this is, in my honest opinion, this is what happened to Charlie Kirk. This is what happens to anyone that is shot in the neck or in the head. If you don't want to see this is a time to turn it off and go watch something else. Because this actual is probably the closest depiction that we are ever going to see of what happened to Charlie Kirk on that fateful day, as they say. Now, again, you have been warned. If you don't want to see it, please click off. Most people don't even give you that warning.
Target here. So this is going to be the most telling, the most devastating of all these tests here. We're going to see what a 30-06 round does to this poor ballistics head here.
Folks, did y'all see that? Disintegrated. Now, again, as someone that's been hunting my whole life, as someone that's been shooting targets, as someone that's been shot at watermelons, as someone that shot at pumpkins, that's someone that shot at squirrels, that's someone that shot at cucumbers, as someone that shot at anything that you could stand up and put on a target, I've shot at it with a pistol, with a 410. If y'all know what a 410 is, it's a shotgun with a 12 gauge. Double barrel 12 gauge. My grandfather had one. As a matter of fact, somewhere in the family heirlooms, there consists of a bolt action 30-06. Also, a long. There's two types of 22s. One that shoots short bullets and one that shoots long bullets. All those are in the family heirlooms. Came from my grandfather. That's how long the 30-06 has been around. My dad used it. My brothers used it. Pretty proficient at it once you know how to use it. So it's not impossible that a 22-year-old kid that grew up around guns could not make that shot, because he could. Is it feasible? Given the circumstances, honestly, I think they got the wrong guy. Just my opinion. Something ain't right. It just ain't adding up. But again, folks, if you have a weak stomach, you might want to walk away right now.
Just look at it basically exploded the head. That's what a 30-06 round does. It's for its size, it has an amazing amount of stopping power.
That's what's up there, HC Baldwin. How you doing? Great show the other night there, but man, sometimes I hit you, let you know that I'm listening. I just forgot to the other night, but you're doing your thing always. Thursday night from 11 to 1 a.m. folks, check out my man, it's Mr. HT Baldwin, as he's on them ones and twos, bringing you that house music, classic R&B jams, radio. Big shout out to you, good brother. So let's get on back to it here. But again, folks, y'all see on the screen here, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. And unfortunately, that's probably what happened to Charlie Kirk. There's nothing left. They was carrying a corpse to the vehicle. Something that you're right, HT Baldwin. Something ain't adding up. You can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want to, and you can call a whole lot of other people conspiracy theorists, but ballistics don't lie. To quote the great Tupac, truth don't need no alibi. And it seems to be a whole lot of alibi going by, ain't it? Appreciate that, Shore. Thursday nights, folks, from 11 to 1 a.m. Check out my man, HT Baldwin. Spinning that house music, doing the doggone things. I tell you what, your transitions is on point, my brother. I gotta say, I've listened to a lot of DJs in my time, and in the years I've been in this business, your transitions is on point, bro. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all gotta check them out to see for yourself. I ain't lying, you know. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. I am. But look, even though it's blurred out, nothing left, folks.
Alright, so now we're going to throw it in about a 10% slow-mo for you. This is going to look super cool. Now, what happened was, when the 30-06 projectile hit the head, I had predicted it would go through the front side and just blow a big hole in the back side. But what actually happened was the large projectile of the 30-06 went through the skull and impacted all the liquid blood that I had on the inside. Now that had created a shockwave inside of the head that had literally blown the head to pieces. There was not much left to it when it was all said and done, you know. So I do have to say that all in all, 30-06 versus a human head, amazing result. More coming at you, every caliber I can get.
So there we can see some various tests of an .6, just to give you an idea of how much power that round actually packs, how much stopping power it has, how much inertia and energy is transferred from the round to the target when you actually shoot it. Anyone that's been deer hunting will tell you that. If you guys want to see a 100% perfect accurate test, let
Now, I don't know if, Lauren, how you doing? My first time seeing you here. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but I'll read it anyway. She says, Sweet Angel Kirk sent 60 buses of Patriots to the J6 riot. He thought, oh, wait a minute, they're moving too quick here. He thought executions should be televised. Kids should watch. He felt the Civil Rights Act, which ended in segregation, was a huge mistake. Well, again, those aren't my words. Those are his words, Lauren, aren't they? Can't say you didn't say them. Now, they can tap dance around those words. They can say, no, you're just taking them out of context. But what context can you take it out of, Lauren? It's absolutely true, isn't it? Those are the things he said. Not one time, not in passing, but on several occasions. And it's funny, you know. We had folks saying that we should not. Was it right for folks to celebrate the man's passing? No, I disagree with that. But don't force me to mourn it either. But did y'all notice something? Charlie Kirk Day is when? October 14th. Whose birthday is October 14th? Y'all know? Charlie Kirk was not assassinated in October. Yes, and it was an assassination. He wasn't laid to rest in October. So why is Charlie Kirk Day October 14th? Only one reason. Because that's the day that we recognize who? George Floyd. Like him, disagree with him. It's funny how Charlie Kirk could say that George Floyd got what he deserved. And all his followers could agree with that. But as soon as someone says Charlie Kirk pretty much predicted his own demise, we're being insensitive. Y'all can't have it both ways. Thank you for that, Lauren. Again, let me put that comment back up on the screen because she's absolutely right. You know, sometimes that southern accent, y'all heard me say screen, some fuck around, I might say orange in a minute. Meaning orange. But let's go ahead and back to this. Let's let this finish out.
This video go to 10,000 views. Like, comment, subscribe, share. We get to 10K, I'll go out and buy one of those $300 ballistics dummies, and we'll do this test perfectly. I know several people that have a 30-06. And the reason I wanted to make this video is as soon as I saw Charlie get shot, and I saw that the official story was that it was a 30-06 that did the damage, I was immediately very skeptical, just because I've seen my entire life what 30-06 rounds do to deer.
Now, folks, again, being around guns my entire life, I want y'all to look at this gun. I want y'all to look at this rifle and tell me which part of this rifle could you break down to fit in a duffel bag of that size that he had. I wish I had some devil dogs up. I wish I had someone that was in the service and tell me which part of this, other than taking the bolt out, could you break down readily? None of it. You can take the scope off and you can take the bolt out, but you cannot break that gun down. Not this particular model, and not the particular model that they said that he had. What's up there, crew? How you been, my man? I haven't seen you in a minute, brother. How you been? This is greeting. I've been listening. The shot impact looked kind of funky to me, along with you, crew, and a whole lot of other people. Listen, folks, again, whether you are for or against Charlie Kirk, that's your business. But the bottom line here is that the powers that be are trying to tell us with our own eyes that some of us that know that something was wrong with this, what they were trying to tell us, that we should not believe that. We should not believe what we saw. We should believe what they told us. Well, again, if you go back to the video I made prior to this coming out, I said something was funky then. Just by the way he shook in that chair, something wasn't right to me then. Let's continue. But again, this gun can't be broken down as they said it was. As it said it was. You can look at the when he jumped off the building.
Here, if they had come out and said that this was, a 5.56 NATO or a 7.62 by 39, which are both intermediate rifle cartridges, I would have believed it. The difference between a intermediate and a full-powered rifle cartridge, full-powered rifle cartridges were what most of the world used after there was that transition from, black powder muzzle loaders to cartridged rifles like we have today. Most countries in their militaries used a full-powered rifle cartridge. It travels the farthest, it packs the most punch. The U.S., we used 30-06. There's other cartridges from around the world that have similar ballistics and size to an .6. And these full-powered rifle cartridges were used by most of the world until the end of World War II. After World War II, there were lots of studies done on the various battles and engagements that happened during that conflict, and they found that most engagements were not happening at the ranges that these rounds were effective at. They were happening within, 1 to 200 yards. So they developed intermediate rifle cartridges because it was actually more effective for soldiers to be able to carry more ammo.
Hey there, Red the Muse. How you doing? Welcome in. Thank you very much for being here. But again, folks, there's someone, and I'm sure that's anyone that can tell you in the military, there's two type of, as they say, ammo that they give you when you go to the rifle range. That range, that's medium range, that you know that you're going to shoot at one of the type targets. You're either going to shoot at the 200-yard line, that was that the 300-yard line, or the 500-yard line. So they're going to give you medium range bullets. But when you go to sniper school, they're going to give you those long bullets. There's a difference. So again, just based on what I know, on what I know about the simple things I know, not that I'm a ballistics expert or anything, but but I've been around them long enough to know that what they were telling us is not true.
Into battle, because these rounds, these large full-powered rifle cartridges, they weigh a lot. Ammo is very, very heavy. Anyone you ever picked up a box of ammo, it's got some weight to it, and it was more advantageous to have rifles chambered in smaller rounds where soldiers could carry more ammo into battle than it was having rifles that were effective at these 900-yard ranges when soldiers weren't engaging at those distances. Now you might say, why doesn't the military value the stopping power or the inertia of a 30-06 round?
No, again, I had an argument with some of the YouTube bandoleros, as I like to call them, the loose niggas that I call them over there, that I didn't know what I was talking about when I said the weapons, the rounds that they use in the military is not designed to kill. They're designed to maim. Why? What you mean by that? Because if you just knock somebody out and don't kill him, that means it takes three now. It takes two people to carry him off the battlefield, plus the one that you just took out, whether you shot him in the leg or whether you shot him in the shoulder. That's why you that's why you use bullets or rounds that pass straight through the body. That's why they train people in the military to make precise shots or make shots at the different part of the body that's not designed to kill, but it's more designed to maim. So you can take two people off the battlefield. So if I shoot 10 folks and I don't kill all of them, that's how many people is that off the battlefield? How many Marines is that off the field? Do the math right quick, like I can't do it. More effective that way, isn't it? Instead of killing 20 people, I now effectively took what, 60 people off the battlefield.
Well, unlike hunters, the military does not use expanding rounds. They use full metal jacket rounds. So that inertia transfer that we were talking about is essentially lost because a full metal jacket bullet goes right through a soldier. Now, why is this? Well, first of all, expanding rounds are illegal under the Geneva Conventions. Expanding rounds like hollow points have been illegal since 1899. It's also not necessarily the goal of the military to kill all of the enemy combatants. If you shoot someone and the bullet goes straight through them and they're still alive, you have taken that soldier out of the battle. Plus, it takes one or two other soldiers to potentially transport that soldier from the front lines to an aid station. So you're actually taking 2 or 3 soldiers out of the battle as opposed to just one if you would have shot them with an expanding round and they died instantly. So,
and that's something that they teach you in sniper school. That's something they teach you at the rifle range. That's something I learned when I was in boot camp. It's not new to me. That's the most effective way to defeat the enemy. You don't have to kill them right quick like. You shoot a couple of them, you got XP. They're gonna rescue their buddies. It's just, and the same thing with us. We're going to rescue. You never leave a Marine behind. So if one of my Marine Corps comrades gets shot, I'm not just going to let him lay out there and bleed out. And I'm sure my other comrade is not going to do the same. It's exactly it, crew. The war of attrition. That's it. That's it. I hate to break it down to the science, but that's exactly what it boils down to. Big bang, take little bang. The more I take, the more I take out and get out the way, the less I got to fight you. That's right.
To point that out there. Also, the name 30-06. Aught is a very old word for 0. If this round was developed today, we would call it a 30-06, but because it was developed as in place of the word 0. So that is why it is called a 30-06. If you guys want to know more about the Charlie Kirk assassination, check out my other video on it. Like, share, and subscribe to this video. Get me to 10K views, and we'll shoot a ballistics dummy with an 06. Have a good one, guys.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in making you some videos like this, you can always go over to Screen Pal. They have the free also they have a paid subscription right there where you can make your own videos, and you don't have to worry about putting out a whole lot of dough. All right, Screen Pal. That means I did what I had to do, so I want my money. I want my money, OC. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate that the good folks at Screen Pal for allowing me to use their product. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn more about the content creator, you're more than welcome. The link to his channel is down in the description. And also, if you want to, I pretty much covered his entire video, but I think he does a backup video to this one. So if you want to see that in its entirety, just go over to this channel, like, share, subscribe if you would like to. That'll be up to you, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime and in between time, we go get to the second part of our show. If anyone wants to come up and either, as they say, got some pros and cons against what we heard here, I'll be more than happy to drop the link down in the chat room. Listen, if you come up here, please, by all means, let's keep it on topic. We can agree to disagree, but I'm not here to fight with anybody. So if things get out of hand, they get nasty, just like they do. Go ahead and flush it. I rock with you too, that crew, man. Again, every once in a while, bro, no two men are going to agree on everything. But, that's what they call discord. Everybody has their ups and their rights and wrongs. So big ups to you. Appreciate you coming back and on through there, folks. Big up to you. But again, there, ladies and gentlemen, this next video, well, not video, but this next part we're about to listen to here. Someone sent me a message and said, "Hey, since you doing something about the Charlie Kirk, check this out." So I said, I don't know if I don't know whether I should use a video or not, but I shouldn't get dinged if I just use the audio. So with that, let's get to it.
Alpha 1 or Alpha 11, we have shots fired. We need EMS here. We've got one down in the crowd.
As you just heard, right after the shooting, the dispatcher mentioned someone else getting shot in the crowd. Of course, we only know about Charlie getting hit so far, which means either the caller made a mistake or they just vanished the other person who got hit. But this is just one of the many strange things revealed by the recordings of those dispatch calls. Just yesterday, I pointed out how they clearly say no autopsy was done at the hospital.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a clip documenting that?
Now, I got to ask, which one was it? Did they do an autopsy or did they do it? Because if you folks remember, if you've been following this, if you've been just on YouTube, they said that they found the bullet intact in his neck. And they have said also that it was absolutely amazing that his bones weren't crushed. If you didn't do an autopsy, how would you know that?
I'm sorry, 10-9?
Can you just add us up to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
Now, this clip went viral on X for a very good reason. In case you forgot, Charlie's producer Andrew Colvett claimed that the surgeon found the bullet and even called it a miracle that Charlie's bones stopped it. Of course, anyone familiar with a 30-06 round will tell you that's total bullshit. But even more importantly, if the autopsy was...
Now, I just showed you what a 30-06 round will do to basically what mounts up to what a human body would react to, what would happen to it if it got shot at a distance. Would an exploding, pretty much exploding projectile. But the autopsy, the doctor said on record that they found the bullet completely intact. Now, y'all just heard the difference between the two. There's one that's designed to leave the body, and there's one that's designed to explode once it hits the body. Either one is going to leave a small hole going in, but it's going to leave a big gaping hole on the way out. Why? Inertia.
At the hospital, then what Andrew is saying makes no sense, since the surgeon wouldn't be allowed to reveal any of his findings independently. Also, at some point, people have made the argument that the dispatcher was only saying that the hospital didn't do the autopsy. These people have pointed out how, according to the law in the state of Utah, you have to perform an autopsy in a homicide case, so they likely performed it in a different location. Of course, we'll probably never know if that's true, because legally they don't have to make the report public. And if the case against Tyler Robinson goes towards some kind of deal, we will never know the truth. And that's been the theme of this whole investigation. The FBI has seemingly been trying to keep all the information within the agency. In fact, they even stopped local law enforcement officers from questioning a person of interest.
Just 10-14, I'm still about 15 out, but the 1-2 unit that's going to be up there to interview. As per SBI and FBI, we've been given clear direction not to interview, confirming negative interview until they get there.
Now, you might say this is standard FBI protocol to ensure the investigation is airtight, but they have not followed any of these standard protocols in this investigation so far.
Absolutely not a bit of it. So what's the difference? What they know now? They pretty much put out the confession letter. They pretty much put out the information about the roommate, whether he was straight or from the alphabet community, whether he was transitioned. Not all that's been put out to the public. Now all of a sudden we can't get the rest of the information. What's up? What's up with that? Hey, Char, how you doing? Good to see you. Are you here? Char with it. I thought you popped in. Big shout out to the information man. How you doing, good brother? Good to see you. Folks, if you want to check out some great information, it's called Right Down the Middle. Whether you like the person that he's talking about, whether you dislike the person that you talk about, I suggest you get on over to the information man and check it out there. Listen, keep your foot to the pedal to the metal. Umar don't stand a chance with you there, good brother. A lot of great information. Again, I'm subscribed to him, folks. You know, if I'm subscribed to you, my man doing what we got to do. I like to call him one of them truth warriors out there in the street. So again, big shout out to you there, information man.
So far, people like George Zinn were questioned and even cleared of suspicion by the local law enforcement. Of course, that guy was also apprehended by the same officers when they found incriminating evidence on his phone, which he handed over to them without any hesitation. So why not just let these local detectives talk to this new person of interest as well? Also, they won't release the autopsy report, and yet they immediately released information about Tyler's roommate, even though this could have put their main witness in a life-threatening situation. They even released those insane texts without any hesitation. And of course, we cannot forget how they did not even question many of the people who took videos of the entire incident. So before you start talking about protocols, I suggest you take a look at how ridiculous this whole investigation has been so far. I mean, there were FBI agents taking photos and videos of all kinds of evidence, and yet when they found the rifle, they didn't take any photos of where it was found.
7J14, the forensics team has located a weapon just across the street from lot Mike 20 near the Low C building.
This is why I agree with all the people who are asking Turning Point USA to release all the footage. Of course.
And I think that's fair, especially as many followers that he had. I think transparency is in order. I want to welcome to the show, Shar Willie. How you doing, Shar? Are you here?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. Been a minute. I know you've been busy. How you doing? What's your thoughts so far?
Fake news.
just that simple?
Just that simple. I mean, this makes no sense. And I mean, I'm just listening to stuff in passing. And I'm like, what? How that doesn't, what? And just to, what I'm not understanding, do they think that Americans or people in general are just stupid? They don't know anything. And you're just going to just say these things and it's just going to fly by. People are not going to talk about it to themselves, their audience and forums and different things. And that's what we're doing. And we're proving, we're giving more truth being an outsider than the actual people with the title and the jobs. That's what's so sad.
And you're absolutely right, Sharp, because, I mean, if you go back to when did JFK get assassinated in the 60s? I think it was 63, November 22nd, 1963 or something like that. We just finding out what really happened last year. And why? Because Donald Trump, this year, because Donald Trump wanted to do what? Disgrace the Kennedys.
Yeah.
That's why we found out. That's just bottom line to it. So we really believe that we're really going to get the real information of what happened to Charlie Kirk? I think not. I think this is just with anything, just like they say in the military, they're going to continue to blow smoke up our ass.
Yeah.
Let's continue here. And you know, H.T. Baldwin, just think, if it not been for the advent of the internet, folks would really go with what they believe, what's printed in the newspaper. So at some one point in time, you can see why they really believed that the American public was dumb, because they was. It literally was. Don't make me get. I could turn this to how dumb were they, Mr. Music. At one point in time, they believed putting their feet on a little blackboard solved them having rheumatism. Sorry, before I push this beautiful beam footage.
Roll it.
First, they have no plans of doing so. Instead, they just want to move on with Erica Kirk at the helm of the company.
We really tried to discern properly how to go about the next few stages and steps of everything. And we've been very intentional in in a way that always keeps Charlie first and his dreams alive and his legacy going. And what's so beautiful is to see all of you step in and do that.
Now, I have more than 35 minutes of these very strange dispatch recordings from this incident, so check out my X account to hear the entire thing. Let me know in the comments if you want me to analyze all of it in a long YouTube video. Now, another thing I want you guys to see is how Mike Johnson is trying his best to stop the Epstein discharge petition from getting a final signature.
I'm trying to push back the swearing in of...
That's a whole nother video, folks. We don't even need to talk about that right now. I'm not even gonna get into that. But here it is again, folks. If what Charlie happened, if the powers that be can tell us verbatim that this young kid that was on this, well, I'm gonna call him a kid. He is what he is. He's a monster. This young monster got on the roof with a 30-06, took Charlie Kirk's life. As one of the most influential, whether you like Charlie Kirk or not, he had a huge following. In that part of America, folks adored him, so you can't take that away from him. I would not have liked the man. Based on what I've heard him say about black people, that was enough for me to know this is not somebody I would ever want to break bread with. There's nothing you can say to me to convince me that you didn't grow up like this and this is not your true intent of who you really are. But for those of you that try to tell me that this man was a peacemaker, that this man was a saint, that this man was go back into my comments, go back and read Lauren's comments. Go back and listen to Charlie Kirk, some of his old videos. And you try to convince me that this was a good man. This was a Christian man, because he was not. Christians don't do the things. Christians don't divide the way he does, folks. And I appreciate the super chat there, Mr. Information Man. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Again, there, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost time for me to get out of here. Sorry, you got anything that you want to pass on here before we take off here today?
No, I just want to just mention, if you just look at Patel, he just looks like he's just out of place.
Listen, Patel and Pete Hegseth. Speaking of Pete Hegseth, again, folks, I was in the military. Do you know the last time somebody summoned all their generals to one place at one time, all the heads of the military, regardless to where you were serving at, whether you're serving in Germany, whether you're serving in Paris Island, whether you're serving in Cherry Point, whether you're serving in Japan, if you are the head of a military installationary base, this guy has summoned you to a Marine Corps base in Virginia. And while I'm thinking about this, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you saw the president, the vice president, and the Speaker of House in the same room at the same time before the Trump regime?
Never.
Only during the State of the Union address. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. That's it.
For the continuity, what's the word I'm looking for? The continuity of the powers that's passed down, just in case the president gets assassinated, the vice president takes over. Just in case the vice president gets assassinated, the Speaker of the House takes over. So until the Trump regime, you never found those three people in the same place at the same time. There's pictures of Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump in the same building at the same time.
Right, you don't do that for those reasons.
Let me read some of these comments before we get out of here. There, sure. Let's see. Well, somebody said the fix is in. I do believe so. The Information Man, the fix is in. Trump is trying to be a dictatorship, and just like that folks that they say they found him in the hole, he was going to pass the dictatorship on down to his sons, like what's the guy named over there in Cuba? He was going to pass it on to his relatives. That's what Trump wants to do. But he found a suitable sub right now called J.D. Vance. Mm-hmm. He found instead. Again, sure. I remember one time we was talking about Trump. What do you say there? Hey, Dove, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Remember one time, Char, I said, watch. If Trump gets reelected again, all the mistakes he made in the first administration, he gonna fix this time.
Yep. Yeah. I just didn't believe he was going to get in the second
I
time.
didn't
So
either.
I didn't think much about it, but I do remember you saying that. Sure.
Right, because I closed the chapter on him because I said, well, we should be done with Trump. I ain't gonna talk about him no more unless he does something fucked up.
Right.
What's that, 2021, wasn't it?
That or beginning of 2022, one of the two.
Right. So even though it was some years in between that, here we are still talking about this man.
Because he just won't stop.
He won't go nowhere. He's like a roach infestation. When you think you got rid of one, goddamn, where that orange would come from?
Right.
He pop out the back room with a gas mask on. You miss. You missed me, bitch. Anyway, there, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you, Information Man, for the super chat. Time for me to get out of here. You folks can catch me live tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when I get on them wheels of steel. I think it's been a rough week for Midday Show. I think I'm just going to play some laid-back tunes from the decade, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 8 to 11 p.m. Check out my man, HT Bar, one Thursday evenings, ladies and gentlemen, from 11 to 1 p.m. with the Soulful House Mix. Me at the Music Cafe on Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, playing that smooth jazz for you and then the indie artists. So wherever you do, folks, if you got time at work, if you ain't doing nothing, car, your home, vacuuming, feeding your cat, just chilling, check out ClassicRBJams.com. That's the place to be if you like that old school music. I ain't gonna lie to you now. Pretty good, ain't it? All right, there, Sharp. Have a good night there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank everybody for hanging out there with us. I got one more thing to say before I get out of here. I appreciate that, APT. Thank you very much. Where that?
Look, all you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Now you standing up in here and goddamn it talking about preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddammit. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look,